Good evening. I'd like to welcome each of you to the Satsuma Pre-Council meeting for our regular meeting of September the 5th, 2023. At this time, we usually run through the agenda and discuss anything that we may have or that's up. We have a little time to talk about it prior to the meeting. So with that being said, hopefully y'all got all your minutes. I think we sent them to y'all last Friday. Had to resend everything today, reminding you of the minutes with the agenda. So with that being said, going down our list, our call to order, our invocation last month was led by Mr. Little. If we're moving down, Mr. Butler, would you mind, or would you like to skip? Sure, yeah. I'll do the invocation and pledge. Have a roll call. We see Jay's here. Jessica has gone to the class we approved, so we have Miss Brittany sitting in for her tonight. We don't have roll call yet. We'll do that.
She's just practicing.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that in the meeting. Okay, the agenda tonight. If there's any corrections, deletions, or anything, but most of this is pretty much from our last meeting. So, have y'all looked over it? Need a motion to approve. Mr. Skelton, Mr. Little. Also, the minutes are in our packet tonight. Same thing is said. I've read over those. Do we see any corrections, deletions, misspellings that y'all would like?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Get a second. Mr. Little. Okay, I understand the Key kids are coming tonight, but we did not get any information from them. So I guess it's the first time of the year, and we can, I assume we'll see some of them here before 7 o'clock, so we'll find out when they get here what they have. Our visitors tonight, there's only one listed. Bethany Hudson to address the council for a request for investment for the fiscal 23-24. Yeah. Okay. Okay, would you like to come up in our pre-council to address on what your request, and that probably be good. That way it's less people here right now and we have a little more time to talk. It's a little less formal than once everyone gets here. Sure.
I've got some information for y'all.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Christian Miller. I'm the Public Sector Program Lead for the Mobile Bay National Estuary Program. And just to give you a little bit of background information about our organization and who we are, we were set up by the United States EPA. We're one of 28 federally designated estuaries of national significance. And locally, we operate and are administered through the Dauphin Island Sea Lab. So we're basically a department of the Dauphin Island Sea Lab. We're not, we don't partake in any regulatory related activities. Everything we do at the National Estuary Program is working with our local communities to give them the tools they need to be better stewards of their natural environment. I think it's something that for those of us who've grown up, spent any time here on the Gulf Coast, really appreciate the resources we have available to us, the water quality and the rich bounty of natural resources, be it fishing or hunting, all the stuff we enjoy doing in the downtime. So that's kind of the purpose of the NEP, is working with all sectors of the community to help give them the tools to better manage their natural resources. And we do that through this, what we call our Comprehensive Conservation Management Plan. I'll leave this here with y'all today, but this is not just an NEP plan. This is a plan, federally recognized plan, that we go out to the community and get their input and what they value most about living, recreating in coastal Alabama. So it answers basically the needs of the community. So it hits on things related to water quality, natural resource management, access, heritage and culture, community resilience. So through this plan, we're able to go out and get a lot of the community priorities, and it gives us a way to go out and seek funding to put a lot of these plans into action. So we've been doing this through a watershed management planning process. And in this packet of information I gave y'all, there is a map of what we're calling our Western Delta watershed. So this is basically a series of watersheds here in the north part of Mobile County. Basically, it spans in the north from around Axis all the way south down into a little bit of the city of Mobile. So we're talking about Cold Creek, Gunnison Creek, Bayou Sarah, Chickasaw Creek, basically this area. So through this planning process, we're going out in the community, seeing what their priorities are and looking at issues within the watershed and coming up with a suite of recommendations that we can then go back out and seek funding for. And this is something that we rely on the community to provide input in. So we'd like to hear from y'all what your priorities are in terms of issues. I know, everybody down here deals with flooding, stormwater management related issues. Well, this is a way to get some of these priorities in a federally authorized plan that we've been successful, and a lot of partners have been successful in then going back out and getting funding through different avenues, be it BP-related pots of money, through the state with Go Mesa and other sources, and increasingly through the bipartisan infrastructure law that was passed. These are ways that we can document needs in the community, then go out and find ways to address them and get funding to fix them. So this map just kind of shows you the area within this watershed planning process. We got funding through a Restore grant with the state of Alabama to fund this particular watershed management plan. Ephraim Environmental and a team with Thompson Engineering, Barry Vitor and Associates is currently working on developing this plan on behalf of the NEP in the state of Alabama. If Troy hasn't come and spoke to you, I'm sure he will be soon. Been working with a lot of local municipalities up and down this area of Mobile County trying to get their needs addressed through this planning process. There is also a community survey that is out right now. This other flyer gives you information on how to go and do that. We're really looking for community input on informing the recommendations that are coming out of that plan. So would encourage y'all to be involved in that process, and happy to take any questions y'all might have. But really the main purpose here is, we get this grant through EPA every year. It's about $850,000. We have to go out and match that one-to-one with our local state and community partners. So the state of Alabama, Mobile, Baldwin County, and a lot of municipalities in Mobile and Baldwin County all participate in the NEP and provide help through that match process. And we're just a resource for y'all to help you in whatever ways you need to help address some of your natural resources, stormwater management kind of issues. So I would encourage y'all to be involved. We have a government networks committee that is open to all elected officials. We meet quarterly. Generally, it's a breakfast meeting. So a lot of our local elected officials and state, federal resource agency managers are coming together, and it's just a good forum to provide some networking, let those folks hear what our local priorities are, and then what's coming down from the state and federal level on what they're looking to fund. So our next meeting is going to be September 29th. Generally meet at the International Trade Center there on Water Street in downtown Mobile, but it's a really kind of informal way. We have a good fellowship, good morning breakfast, and then a short, 45 to an hour program, and just a good way to get some input back and forth from all those different folks. So happy to take any questions y'all have, but just here to make sure y'all are aware of us and know that we're a resource here for y'all to call upon when needed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we did have Troy as our speaker last November when we hosted the municipal dinner, and certainly I think anyone that's around the this area knows how vital we are, the water is to our community. Lord, if you'd seen all the boats that was out this past weekend, you'd know that we are very, I think, blessed with the water, and I think most of the people appreciate it. So I do think those studies you're doing are good, and I'm glad to see it. So especially focusing a little bit more on this side of the bay some.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought that the north end of the county on Mobile side has perhaps not gotten the publicity that, and maybe some of the other areas have gotten. So I appreciate y'all taking interest up this way, because I do think there's a great deal. Everything that gets down that to the south end comes mainly through our waters up here coming down. So,
Yes, sir.
but anyway, I do appreciate it, and hopefully one or two of us can make the breakfast. I think the last one, it was a monsoon that morning, and
It
about
was,
drowned out
yes.
everything. So we wasn't able to. I started down that way that morning. It was raining so hard out here, I decided not to chance that. But I do appreciate y'all coming tonight, and I hope a lot of success for that program and the C Lab, and they've been a very instrumental part of I think our community, and I know Dauphin Island's very proud of the work they've done down there. So, do y'all have anything else y'all have for Christian prior to him leaving? Okay, well, we do appreciate y'all coming out tonight, and y'all look forward to hearing from us in the not too distant future.
Okay, we appreciate it, y'all.
Thank you
for
very
time.
much. Okay. Is there anyone else that wanted to come before the council tonight? Okay. Okay, like I said, our recognitions will be the Lee students, who I'm assuming will be here for the regular meeting. That was the only visitor we had on the list. So if y'all would like, I'll go on down. We can start through the mayor's report. As always, it seemed like a very sad part of a start the council meeting, but just in our last few weeks, we lost Miss Dot Johnson, Northside Bait and Tackle, for many, many years. Mr. Matt Sewell, Mr. James Shoemake passed away. Helen Bass, I think they built here in '63. The Basses originally did, so her and her family and all have been here a long time. She was real active in the seniors program, I think, for the last few years. And also Mr. Dan Simmons, who several years ago, didn't miss a council meeting. So if you see any of those families, you might want to give condolences then.
Somebody sent me a Facebook post today.
They said all the family had. Yeah, I was gonna mention that to y'all.
What?
I'll get with you later on that.
Didn't hear you.
This morning earlier, I did speak with Sharpsey, Monica, and Tom Piper regarding some of our projects that we have going. They were supposed to send an email regarding the bus that's on order. I understand it's still progressing down the path to get here. They're still saying that we will receive the van by the end of the month. And that's definitely been a challenge working on that. So hopefully our new van and bus will both be here soon, though. That's the last word that we're given. The dog park, as far as the groundwork that was done, was completed. I think George had a question he wanted to ask the council about regarding some questions that have been brought to him regarding the fence in the middle and a couple of things. George, would you like to expand on that just for a moment with the council?
A million calls want to know when it's open back up, but everyone I've spoke to would like to, or they said they would prefer it if it was just one open park instead of split into two, so. There's not enough room for the big dogs to run or whatever, so.
I don't know if it's ever that crowded where they need to be separated, but
Right.
yeah, I mean, it's so much bigger with that fence out of the middle, so.
Well, I put the end fence, it's not complete yet, but I put the end fence up so they could use it, and I was waiting to do the rest until y'all made your mind up, so, that's all.
It looks really good.
It does. It's real soft on your feet. It didn't get warm. I felt it in the sun the other day, and, I mean, it was warm, but it wasn't hot. You could keep your hand there. And in the shade, it was almost ice cold, so.
So is that the consensus of the council to leave the fence out of the middle?
Can we do that one, I know that, where you let the dogs go in and then you take them off the leash before they're introduced into the rest, just that one side of the little,
Right. So put the box back? Okay.
you're only missing one side of it. That's just an area where the people can go in and let the dog off the leash and then let him out the gate.
Close the gate, let
So
it
they're
off
not-
leash, then go. Okay.
So it's kind of like double protection for those that like to dart out. But no, it looks really good. So do you think that they're done where we could get the artists back in there to continue the painting?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, he only gave me one day to let it set up, so.
okay, yeah, it looks good.
And when it rained, it rained real hard one day, and I went by there, and it was just, there was no water on it at all, so. And it was 4 inches, 3.5 inches of gravel under there, so, anyway.
Okay, you might as well stay up there in case there's any questions. The community center, we've got a couple little things like some power washing and maybe replacing a board or two on the decking that's out back, but everything else should be completed at the community center. Generator, new air conditioning, windows replaced. I think we put some appliances in it back a few months ago. So, is there anything else you know of other than those minor things
That's
that we
it,
can
what
do?
we talked about today. yeah.
Okay.
Looks good.
Hope y'all have had a chance to go by and look at the community center.
If you haven't, it's painted the same colors in here, so.
All right, and obviously y'all can see what they've been working on, started last week in the back here. Okay. George, before you leave on that one, the last thing I know that we would need from him is the library. Y'all know we bid that out, and the contractor who got the job called and said it was just gonna be too big of a job for him, that once they got into the windows, they realized that the rot was much greater than had been seen, and he just opted out and gave his money back after working a day. So we now have another contractor who is looking at it, and he's been trying to get prices from the windows, and I talked with him over the weekend, and he said that he's ready to give the price, but he has not got all the prices on the windows, so he cannot come back until he gets that. So later on tonight, I'm going to ask about a workshop next Tuesday. He asked for a few more days. Hopefully by Tuesday night, I can let y'all know what we're looking at there, but that's the problem they ran into. So if you're wondering why that work stopped, that's what we had there. Troy, along with Jessica, have both continued to work to look for the purchase of our vehicles. We're still in the same mode we've been in, trying to find what we can get, and get in. So just letting y'all know, we have not let that slip by us. We just have not had a lot of success, but from what I'm hearing, several cities and counties are running into this same problem on what they're trying to do. All right, police fire report, senior building inspections. You got the bids for tree work. We've got,
Yeah, I was gonna mention that when it got in.
all right. Just remind y'all that Thursday night's Board of Adjustment planning meeting, and meetings on Thursday. Next Monday, the 11th, will be the water board meeting. And by Tuesday night, I want y'all to look over your calendars, and let's see about maybe having some type of ribbon cutting or reopening where we can have something at the lodge and for the Steel Creek, because they have finished that project. And I'd like to have something where we could show off the work, so.
We're gonna have the chapel finished by then too.
Our hopes are about 2 weeks, is that our last estimate?
I'm hoping, yes, sir. I went
But-
by on Friday and the floor's in and
Yeah.
Just saying it'd be nice to have a
Yes.
showcase down there, be able to do them
Well,
all
there's
at
two
once.
ladies.
Yeah.
Ms. Callen, you know, have you talked with Joe in the last day or two? Yeah.
He is paint the pews as we speak. The air conditioner,
Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can shoot for next Tuesday night, having a day that y'all could have, and let's all, you know, we have a workshop, we can all look at our calendars and see, because we wanted to see if we could get some of the officials, maybe from Montgomery, it's helped us with some of the funding down there, and see what would be available from them, so. Yeah. Okay. Okay, well.
I've been
I
trying to
just
push
felt like
him
it'd be a
every
day you could show it off on what y'all have done. If we,
He looks really, really good.
I've been pushing him every day, but he won't let me go when I go there, so I just ride by and let him see me, so.
Just the final two things on the Steel Creek. We were trying to get some quotes from a couple electrical companies regarding replacing the fans under the gazebos and the lights. I mean, we probably just need to replace those. I don't think it'd be that expensive to do so, and obviously, if y'all have seen the fans, they don't work anymore. They,
One's got 3 blades.
yeah, and the other one, I don't think has any, does it? So, we wanted to do that and look at maybe putting some lighting around the walk side of it, because it's so dark through there at night. Just a few, lights along the way, some solar-powered lights. And, also, I did have 2 things. We did receive another call about somebody swimming down there in front of the boats the other day and saying it wasn't very safe. And the other thing is, we've had low water, and they're saying they can't get out of the boats now because of the dock. So I was going to look at talking with the builder and see if there was any way to put a couple of, like ladders that would be by the post so it wouldn't interfere with the boats bumping into the docking, but something that would help people get out of the boats.
Oh, with the lighting, have always wanted to see the solar lighting there at that pedestrian walk on Old 43. So maybe they could pick up a few extra of those and install them there for people with foot traffic and stuff, and it's gonna start getting dark.
Well, I understand the price is so different on what the quality is, and I'm certainly no expert on that, but if you've got any input on what type, because
Oh,
they've
I don't
asked me
know, I don't know.
about them, I just said a
Going
good
around that
professional
wood wall
quality.
is like $15 a piece. They just,
I figured you have
sit
a
on
thing
the
on
post.
top and, yeah.
yeah. They
Yeah.
burn all night though.
Okay. All right, next Tuesday, I think
Just
that
a
will be the
handful,
12th.
maybe, don't need like maybe
So you
3
shouldn't
on
get
that
that to
small
work.
road.
How does the 12th look? 6 PM next Tuesday?
Can we do 5:30?
Sure, I can. Can y'all make 5:30 or what?
Next Tuesday,
Yes, sir.
I can't make that. I might can move this meeting, but you go ahead and schedule it, then I'll try to move what I got.
Okay. I think the rest of the things will be picked up by the other council members and are further down and under consideration or resolutions. So with that being said, Mr. Little, Public Services?
Yeah, I'll give the senior report, and that was one thing I was gonna say, it looks very nice down there. Very bright, that big room and all, it looks really good.
Good,
But I'll
thank
give
you.
that report, I've got the, building and inspection report.
Okay, thank you, Randy. Mr. Butler, Public Safety.
All right, at the 7 o'clock, meeting, we'll have the stats for the month of fire and the policemen. We'll talk about them then.
Okay, sure. Moving to administration, Mr. Skelton.
I don't have anything at the moment.
Parks, Ms. Reese.
I don't have anything right now.
Mr. Phillips.
Mayor, most of the stuff I got can wait till a regular meeting, but I was gonna do these bids also to meet at the regular meeting. And you're talking about having a workshop, I'd also like on ordinance 447 is what the city does with culverts and drainage. Have that at our workshop too.
Next meeting, also, I forgot to mention in y'all's packet, and we'll cover it later, but there's some budget information on what we had last year, where we're at this year, and what we're kind of projecting to be the revenues, if y'all would like to, I wanted to make sure y'all had that, but the workshop, one will be budget. To ordinance 447.
I also got questions about the audit we've been waiting on for several months. Do we want to do that at the workshop, discuss that?
Yeah, we'll try to do that at the workshop.
That's all I got, Mayor.
Okay, for the workshop, so far, we have, of course, the biggest item we're gonna have is the budget. We'll have to have that worked on this month. I think we've made some pretty good progress in the last few weeks. So we'll have the budget. You wanna look into ordinance number 447.
Yes.
You got questions about the audit, and I'm going to ask and try to have some dates with the ladies, and also I'll make contact with some of the people that helped us in funding, and I'll see if we can have a date for the grand opening. All right, moving on to items for discussion and/or consideration, the payment of the bills.
I'll second it.
B, discussion and consideration of final payment of $33,253.28 to McElhaney Construction for the Steel Creek Lodge public access improvements that were made.
I can do that one.
George, did y'all walk that? Did y'all do a punch list walk on that?
Yes, several times. Okay, C is just basically the consideration of appropriations for EMA. It'd be in the amount of, for the fiscal year of 23-24, $24,893.31.
I can second it.
Are we gonna discuss it? I'd just like to know what it's for.
Well, basically, it's EMA, and that's,
I mean, is it the monthly money I see that we pay, or?
we pay it quarterly to them,
Quarterly.
and, for
The
basically storm.
911 and all
No,
them
well,
services?
EMA would be for basically storm-related
Okay,
things.
Hey, like I said, I just was curious, was it the same we always pay?
Yeah, that's it. It's prescribed how the money's just there. The holiday schedule, I think we introduced last week. D, discussion and consideration of approving holiday schedule for fiscal year 23-24.
Do that and E.
I can second both.
Mr. Skelton, Ms. Reese on both. That's D and E, which is regular scheduled meetings for the next fiscal year. All right. F, discussion and consideration to set a public hearing to abate the nuisance at 400 Thomas Drive.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I'll also do G also.
Discussion and consideration of public hearing to abate a nuisance at 451 Creek Circle.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yes, sir.
I
What about 451 Creek?
So we want to
Right.
hold off on Thomas, is that what you saying?
Table F.
Table. Okay.
What do you think on that? I mean, if, right. If we said it, we're going to have to go through, but I'm wondering if we need to at least give them 30 days. If you're saying they're trying to make improvements, I mean, I don't want to try to interfere, but. Okay.
What about the backyard, George? What's it look like? I mean, is it old junk cars back there and things like that? They don't have legal tags on them, is our concern.
We'll discuss that further outside of this, okay?
I'll second the one on G.
On G on Creek Circle, all right, thank you, because we didn't have a listed second. Resolution, ordinance, orders, and other business. Resolution 2023-09-01, that's reappointment of Jamie Warren to the Planning Commission.
I'll make a motion on
I'll
that.
second it.
Mr. Phillips, Ms. Reese. Resolution 2023-09-02, that's the approving of the financial terms for the sanitation truck, the new garbage truck we had at the last meeting.
Jason, you wanna do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
I'll second.
Y'all know we have to do this. We agreed on the appointing of Jessica to the city clerk. That has to be done by a resolution. So resolution 2023-09-03 is appointment of the city clerk as our treasurer.
I can
Awesome.
second it. Oh, you got it?
Okay.
Okay.
D, resolution 2023-04, that's revenue tax enhancement agreement.
What is that?
Revenue, that's who collects the business license, and we're looking at making some changes on the fees that we're paying and the how credit card fees are charged. And yeah, I was going to say she.
Mean D and E? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I see it. I see it. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't, the resolution 230905, the intergovernmental roadway construction agreement on Third Street project.
I'll do that motion. $45,000 is what I've always heard, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll look over that in the, okay, we'll look over that, but providing that's okay. We're trying to
can
put
make-
this out to bid next month for the Third Street and project.
I can make the motion if you want me to.
Okay. Ms. Reeves will make it. Need a second.
I'll second.
Phillips, second. Ordinance number 550 to prohibit swimming and use of skateboards and bicycles, roller skates, scooters, and other similar devices within the Steel Creek Lodge Park. Now, I'm sure we need to say park. We're trying to say on the piers and,
What about piers and walkways?
yeah, piers, walkways going down is all that.
I guess in section 1, it kind of outlines that a little bit more about,
Curb, bench, rail, monument, sidewalk, porch, veranda, or boat dock, and launch.
Okay.
just stay on the
Then the-
road. Out of the traffic.
Just the way it's worded in the, on the agenda might need to be in certain areas of the park. How about that? Okay, we have gone through the agenda tonight. We got about 20 minutes before the council meeting. So, is there anything else y'all know we need to bring up or that we need to add to the agenda?
No.
If not, that will conclude, and we'll reconvene for our regular meeting at 7 o'clock. All right, thank all of you for being here. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back in a few minutes, and for our regular meeting, we just kind of ran through the agenda real quick, so appreciate all of you coming, and we'll see you here shortly. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming tonight. We'd like to welcome each of you to the Satsuma City Council meeting for our regular meeting of September the 5th, 2023. For those of you who are newcomers, we ask that you turn your phones to silent, please, and are off so they won't disrupt the meeting, especially here in a few minutes when we start recognize some of the key kids and congratulate them on their award that they're receiving tonight. And if it is your first meeting, it's the call to order we have now. We follow that by an invocation. So here in just a moment, I'm going to ask that you stand and then remove your hats. Remain standing after the invocation, and we will have the Pledge of Allegiance. And we hope that some of our key kids will help us to say the pledge. So all that, welcome again to being here tonight for our meeting. And if you would, please remove your hats and stand for the invocation. Father, we ask that you be with us tonight. Please help us as a group to come together to recognize the needs and concerns of our community. We pray for those, Lord, that have the health concerns, health issues going on, and also we really pray for those that have lost loved ones that we've experienced so many here recently in our community. We ask that you go with us tonight, help us with our decisions, that it will make our city a better place. We thank you for everything that you've done for us, and it's in your precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you, and thank you for those young ones I heard helping us with the pledge. Tonight, we have our Assistant City Clerk, newly in the position, here for Jessica, who's out of town at a school tonight. So, Ms. Brittany, welcome tonight, and thank you for trying to take our notes and our minutes for this evening and put together the packets. If you would, give us a roll call, please.
Present. Present.
Present.
Present.
Here.
Here. Please let the record reflect that all are here, including the city attorney, Troy with the police department, chief of the fire department, George from our building inspections department, along with Brittany sitting in for the city clerk. The first thing tonight, we have the approval of our agenda, which y'all walked in, we were going through, some of you, in the last few minutes. So I think we've covered everything in a pre-council. So with that being said, can I get a motion to approve the agenda as distributed?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, second by Mr. Little to approve the agenda as distributed. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Also, in your packet of information, y'all received in an email Friday and again earlier this morning, the minutes from our regular meeting of August the 15th, 2023. And if there are no corrections, additions, deletions, misspellings, etc., I will entertain a motion to.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Little to approve the minutes from the August the 15th, 2023 meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay. And I think what we'll go into next will be the key kids. I'm sure y'all don't want to sit here and listen to us talk boring things about drainage, ditches, and weeds overgrowing and how we're going to fund the projects and the things that are boring but that we have to do. But just before we go into the key kids, we would like to, myself speaking for all of us, congratulate the students. Our school system, I think, is second to none in this end of the state. We're consistently getting awards, accommodations. We have people that call, ask how we're doing, what we're doing. And I think that probably most of all, it's the parents and the grandparents that have made the system what it is. And I think that we have a lot of involvement of the families. We have a great staff and teachers at our schools. We're really proud of them. They all do a good job looking at the product of what they are putting out. In the last 3 years since I've been the mayor, we've been to some graduations, seeing where the students are. Hopefully, we will keep these young ones on that path and see them all excelling, and just really makes us proud to see where so many of our graduates are gone. So other than that, we do appreciate all of you coming tonight, and we're going to try to get y'all through that. And we usually stop the meeting for just a minute or two in case anybody wants to take a picture or they got a question, or one of the young ones may have something they would like to share with us. So we're not rushing you out of here, but we're going to have y'all up first, and we will let y'all leave, and then we'll go into our regular order. So with that said, I would ask my Robert E. Lee staff members to please come forward up here so we can call and recognize these students. Thank you. Y'all wanna slide back, or how y'all want to do that tonight? You know, you're getting old whenever we stand here, and the teacher was the child growing up over here next to it. Now she's helping me recognize other young ones here. So thank you, Kelly, for your help. Keep thank you. Okay, our first Key Student Award tonight will go to Mr. Gabe Threadkill. Gabe, where you at, buddy? Hey, hey, buddy, how you doing? Good. I want you to hold this and turn around so Mom can get a picture right there with us. There you go. Thank you.
You can come up some.
There you go. Thank you, Gabe. Gabe, why don't you go right here and let Miss Brittany give you something, and then walk around behind the, so shake hands with all of them. Okay, next, Kaylee Bringman. Kaylee? Hey, Kaylee, didn't see you coming around, so congratulations. You gonna hold around, let Mama get a picture of me and you? Right here. Here, she's over here. Over there, right here. Hey, there you go. Congratulations, Kaylee. You got it? Go right on around here. Show her around. Okay, our next key student, Everett Carlisle. Everett, hey. Hey, man. There you go. Turn around, let Mom get a picture of us right there. Go around this way. Get you another prize. Okay, our next one is Mabel Squires. Come here, Miss Mabel. Hey, turn around there, let your mom and dad get a picture. Come around here, there you go. Okay, first grade, John David Rhodes. Hey, Mr. Rhodes, come on up here. Turn around here, congratulations. Let's turn around. Hey, let your mom get a picture. Let your mom get. There you go. Big fella. There you go. Go all around and shake hands. Next, first grade still, Harper Reeves. Harper. How are you, big man? There you go. Got a big handshake there. There you go. Okay, starting second grade, Nora Kate French. Hey, come on. What if I come over there and you walk? There you go. Turn around and let Mom get a picture of us, right? Hey, come around this way. I can hurt you. Let Miss Kelly show you where to go. There you go. Good job. Thank you. Okay, next, Caden Kelly. Caden? Okay, starting the third grade, Vaughn Pickens. Vaughn? Congratulations. Okay, next, Aubrey Daniels. Okay, moving on to the fourth grade. Gracie Lawson. Gracie? Just turn around and let Mom get a picture there. Come on, congratulations. Will Buxton. Is it Will? Congratulations. There you go. Turn around here, Will. He'll stay. You got it? Okay, good deal. Thanks, man. Go right there. Tinsley Bird. Congratulations, Miss Tinsley. And turn around, let Mom get a picture there. I think she's trying to get. Thank you. Congratulations.
Sixth grade.
Okay, next, John Whit Reeves. John, come on. Two of y'all there. Congratulations. But turn around. Okay, thank all of you for coming with the key students. If y'all would like to take a picture, stay for a minute, you can. You're welcome to stay for the whole meeting. I don't know, I would. If I didn't have to, I don't think I would. And thank you to the staff for coming out and helping us tonight. Thank you all again. Have a good night.
One more picture. Everybody come here. Thank y'all. Let's go.
Where were all the people tonight? I sat in the back, 'cause
I don't know if they're going to stick with it, but they've chose to reduce the number of key kids because last year, some people couldn't get in to get their photographs, and apparently. And this was the first one of the year, so.
I kind of liked it full, but I understand.
Well, but in fairness, before we get going, there's got to be a happy middle. We can't have it so crowded that people can't get in and see it.
Well, even
But- yeah.
for emergency purposes.
Yeah,
you can't
but-
overload it.
But maybe
Well, I mean,
one
I'm
more
with you
a
on that.
grade, so.
Within reason.
Okay, our recognitions now have been complete. That was all that we had. Our visitors tonight, the only people that we had was the group regarding the waterway. I'm sure that we'll discuss this further next week. Obviously, they're wanting some money, and hopefully we can address some of their needs, because I do feel like they are recognizing the north side or the Mobile side of the Mobile River now, and also the waterways coming in. So I think they heard our complaints in the years past. So we'll take care of that a little further, but that was the only visitor. Is there anyone else? I know a couple of you gentlemen come in after we had asked earlier if there was visitors, but you're welcome to speak if you'd like, but if not, we're going to move on into get going with our regular business. Okay? Going into regular order of business, the mayor's report. Basically, I covered everything in the pre-council meeting, but expressed the deaths, like I said earlier, longtime business owner here, Ms. Dot Johnson, Northside Bait and Tackle, passed away recently, so certainly express the condolences of that family, to the Sewell family, who their son passed away. Also, Mr. James Shoemaker, you've been around for a long time. He was a long-time North Mobile, or North Gate resident, and member of the Satsuma First Baptist Church for many years. Miss Hazel Bass, who lived on Juniper Avenue and had for several years, her passing. Mr. Dan Simmons, also, so those families. In pre-council, I'll let the council know that we have received some emails from Sharpsey regarding our van and bus for our senior program that we have on order. We are still receiving emails saying that both are still ordered, and they're expecting both of them to be in the near future. They're saying that the smaller van that does just the one wheelchair transportation should be here by the end of the month. About to give up on it after sitting here talking about it every couple of months for 2 years now, but anyway, hopefully it'll be here soon. Advise the council that the dog park foundation and flooring that was put in the dog area was completed. It's my understanding that the council has agreed to leave the fence separating the two areas out, just make it a small fenced area on the entrance, so that, George, you're going to be able to have that taken care of in the next few days, and so that'll complete that project. We'll be totally behind us at that point.
You can take off the signs that say small dog, large dog side, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, awesome.
Okay, the senior or community building that we have there at Steel Creek, the painting is finished, so that is the windows repaired, generators, new AC for the lodge, painted, like I said, and new tables, new chairs, so I think that's finalized. A couple small things I've gave them a list on to work on over the next few days, but it was nothing but just a couple small things, and that project should be behind us also. As y'all seen when you came in tonight, George kept them working while he had the workers here and just moved basically from the community center up here to City Hall to start this, which I didn't know they'd start immediately, but I'm glad they did. So we appreciate you working on that and trying to keep these projects moving forward. So if y'all have any thoughts, and all of the department heads have been together. I think Jessica probably is, the City Hall led some of that, but I would like to put some of our old pictures we found and all on some of the, maybe the walls here in our pre-council chambers, and just use some of the things that we have found that's been put up for years. We may have to get some new frames or something, but I think it would be very, interesting. We're also looking at trying to upgrade, get a new map of the city that has the zoning and some of the streets and subdivisions that have been made in the last few years. So I think that would be something nice to have on those walls, but that's what we're working toward. If y'all have any ideas or anything specific, please let us know.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I did say that the library job looks like it's gonna be a little bigger job than we has anticipated when we got into it. And we are moving to look for another contractor who is trying to get some pricing for us on the windows and what it will take to, he thinks, to do the repairs as we had hoped to do. I'm gonna try to give you all some information on that next Tuesday night, but like I said, he told me in the last couple of days that he had not been able to get the quotes back on the windows yet, and he had to have that in order to give a price. We're still trying to order us a couple of new vehicles that we've been talking about for months. In your packet tonight, we didn't go into it in any great detail tonight, but Jessica and Vicki, and for a lot less work myself, but we tried to put together what we thought the biggest thing is the revenue sheets here. That looks like the true numbers of what we're going to get. The sheets in the back were put together by either the council member or the department head from whatever department that is listed that in there. So if you're wondering where any of those numbers came from, that's where they came from. So tonight was just basically to introduce it, get a starting point for us to move to next Tuesday night. Nothing's in stone. But I think that you can see it has had quite a bit of work on it. So appreciate the work that everybody did on putting that together and trying to get it ready for tonight. Reminded the council that we have a planning board meeting this Thursday night. We have a water board meeting next Monday night, which will be the 11th. I've asked about setting a council workshop for next Tuesday night. We're going to try to start the meeting at approximately 5:30 p.m. I know it'll be pushing it for a couple of those of us that still have to work, but we'll start at 5:30 or as close as we can. And Mr. Phillips, I think you said you may have to be late coming, so I guess you just try to make it as soon as you can get here, if that's okay.
It's fine.
All right, well, that's the main thing. Just letting y'all know we are still progressing our road projects. The drainage on 3rd Street, we hope to have that out for bids. That's later on tonight on this intergovernmental resolution that we have, 2309-05. So some of the roads and drainage work, hopefully we will start seeing within the next 60 to 90 days working. So if there's any specific questions on any of this, please let me know. I'll try to go into greater detail, but if not, I'm ready to move on into our regular order of business. So if we have no questions, I'll go to B, Public Services, with Mr. Little.
Mayor, the senior report, we're still having a dozen or so people on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings that are meeting at the community center. And once again, I do want to mention that the community center looks very nice. There's been a lot of work done down there, and if you haven't seen it, go by and take a look at it. The Meals on Wheels program has delivered 897 meals this month, or actually last month. We're now servicing 39 clients per month. Senior transportation vans made 46 trips to various medical appointments last month. Over to the building and inspection department. We're working, we have 16 new permits for August, 40 building inspections, 12 nuisance complaints, 38 total open permits, and 8 ordinance citations. And talking about the nuisance complaints and the ordinance citations, we're working over on DeWitt. We're cleaning a yard now, And we've just, like you say, I think last meeting, we talked about taking, one place down on Sixth Street, so there's been a few people that has mentioned to me too about the home or the place on Thomas Drive, and we are working on that one. I think they are trying to clean it up, so we are working on these different places over across the city, so just know that and try to help us in that area if y'all own, some of these properties. Also, moving over to sanitation department, we've done a good bit of maintenance, repairs, tires on our sanitation trucks. Just seems like, there's some, repair work and maintenance stuff all the time on those trucks, but has to be done. Other than that, I think that's all, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Little. Moving on to public safety, Mr. Butler.
Okay, the Satsuma Fire Department, we got the emergent medicals, we had 34. Fire-related calls, we got 19. Wood and grass fire, we got 3 calls. Structure fire, we got 1. Motor vehicle fire, we got 1. Motor vehicle accidents, we got 1. Mutual aid given 2. Mutual aid received 1. And we got other calls for 18 calls, and overlapping calls was 6. For the month of June, we got 77 calls. And the police department, for the calls of service, we had 630 calls. Felony cases, we had 6. Felony arrests, we got 7. Misdemeanor cases, 53. Misdemeanor arrest, 25. Traffic accidents, we got 1. And traffic citations, 179. For the calls of the previous month calls, we had 507 calls. For the calls for service for the year of 2023, we had 2,802 calls. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Along those lines, I would like to point out that we did have a murder case last week that they did a good job on. We got a conviction after, I think, 5 days in trial. Took about 45 minutes, the jury was out, so appreciate the work that,
Went fast, didn't it? It did.
appreciate the work everybody did on that, and also another investigation they've got going on where there's been some arrests made. We appreciate that. Move to administration, Mr. Skelton.
I'm good.
Parks and Recreation, Ms. Reese.
Yes, sir. Now that the resurfacing is done at the Bark Park, I did want to, I'm going to reach back out to the artists that submitted, I guess, drawings to paint on the fence. So we'll get that geared back up. But we held off on that until the construction was completed because we didn't want any of the artwork to be messed up. So I'll be reaching out to them and see how we can coordinate getting that fence painted. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Reese. Moving on to Public Works, Mr. Phillips.
Mayor, as usual, public safety's been real busy doing weed eating, cleaning ditches, grass cutting. Hopefully we get a little cooler weather this month and some of that'll slow down for them. We also, the radar signs were installed in front of Robert E. Lee. And the training set up for that, for the operation of them signs, is scheduled for September the 7th. And we also graded out the service roads, removed a tree from 117 Bayou East, installed the new AC unit in the Public Works building, and cut the grass in the retention pond. Mayor, I also got where Travis Jones give me this on a tree. We got attached are the quotes for the removal of the tree on 600 Gilbert East. I have inspected the tree and concluded that the tree is dying and could possibly create a hazardous situation. Travis went out and got 2 bids on the tree to see what it cost to remove it. As you went, Allison, I'll open one and see what's detailed on it. One I have from Reed Tree and Lot Service is, remove 1 water oak with stump, haul off all the tree limbs, $2,950.
Hamco Tree Service, cut and dispose of 1 large water oak, grind the stump, and dispose of excess cuttings, $3,377.
I'd like to submit these and let's put that on the workshop list. And make a decision. I haven't discussed this with none of y'all about cutting these trees, so.
He sent an email earlier saying it was an emergency that he thinks it could fall. That's the reason I told him to get some bids if it.
That's to the mayor and the council's discretion then. That's what I'm saying. I just didn't want to spring that out in the open without any discussion to it. Because I personally have not looked at that tree.
Why don't we make a motion to accept the bids and we'll award and tabulate them, and you can go by and look at it in the next day or so. If y'all all agree, if there's any problems, we won't cut it.
Yeah.
If y'all agree, I didn't
If
have
Travis-
time to go before the meeting tonight to go look at it, so I feel certain, if he,
Well, I was asked about 3 o'clock to try to go look at it, and, I got here at 5:30.
I think if Travis deemed it a danger tree, then it needs to be addressed immediately.
I don't agree with you. Everybody's agree, we go look at it, if there's even no problem, we just award it
accept the
to
bills.
low bidder,
Okay.
all right?
Get them, pass them down to the city clerk.
I'll put it right here.
Okay, and I also, mentioned in the workshop about, putting ordinance 447 on the workshop agenda for next week.
Yes, we listed that on for
Okay,
items for discussion at the workshop.
all right, well, that's all I got.
Okay, it's the mayor's report and from all the council members from their respective departments. So next, we go into items for discussion and/or consideration. A, payment of the bills.
I make a motion to pay $117,235.31.
Second.
Motion been made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Little, to pay the bills in the amount of $117,235.31. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. B, discussion and consideration of final payment of the Steel Creek Lodge project is what this is for, of $33,253.28 to McElhaney Construction for Steel Creek Public Access Improvements. It's basically the piers and everything at Steel Creek Lodge.
I make the motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Reese, seconded by Mr. Butler to pay the final payment for that project. And as was asked by Mr. Skelton, yes, punch list was completed, okayed by the contractor. Anything else? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. C, discussion and consideration of appropriations for EMA in the amount of $24,893.31 for the fiscal year of 23-24.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Reese to approve the appropriations to EMA in the set amount. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
D, discussion and consideration of approving the holiday schedule for fiscal year 23-24.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made again by Mr. Skelton and seconded by Ms. Reese for the holiday schedule that was approved for the packet. I think they worked in conjunction with the library and the water board to make sure that we're all on the same page, just in case y'all were wondering.
There is a typo on Martin, for Martin Luther King. Just left out a T on the top and bottom.
Did you get that, Brittany? Okay. That one correction. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. And the next thing is running on the same lines, our regular meeting scheduled for 23-24.
So moved.
Second.
Motion again made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Reese for our meeting schedule for the fiscal year of 23-24. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay. Holidays and the meetings are approved. F, discussion and consideration to set a public hearing to abate the nuisance at 400 Thomas Drive.
So move.
Second. Are we going to proceed at the next meeting for a public hearing, or are we going to give them the 30 days to schedule to the next meeting or the first meeting in October? Because, I mean, he said he just gave this to him and he was trying to get, 2 weeks would not be much. So our first meeting, according to this, will be October 3rd. If need be, we'll bring it back to y'all at the next council meeting. If they're making progress on it, then I don't see a reason for us to
Table this.
We
Let's
just want
just
to table
table
it. I'll remove the motion.
Yeah, won't we just table it until the next meeting? And if work is continuing, then we will, because that would, I think, give us.
The fire chief told me that it is repairable.
Okay. Then we will table F at the recommendation of the building inspector to give the property owner time to comply with his request. How's that?
Good.
G, discussion and consideration to set a public hearing to abate the nuisance at 451 Creek Circle.
So move.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Little to proceed with the abatement nuisance at 451 Creek Circle. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Do we need to set a public hearing before the next council meeting for that one?
The next council meeting, we can do it. That'll give me enough time to post it.
6:45.
Okay, then we're not setting a public hearing. We'll set the public hearing at the next council meeting if it's,
They will
Is it-
set it for 6:45 the day of the next meeting, right?
is that what you want to do? Set it at 6:45 on the,
So in between pre-council and council.
Yeah. so that'd be set a public hearing for September the 19th at 6:45 PM. Okay. All right, Bubba made the motion, Randy seconded it, and it was all in favor, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That concludes discussion and consideration items. We'll move to resolutions, ordinances, orders, and other business. A, Resolution 2023-09-01 to reappoint Jamie Warren to the Satsuma Planning Commission.
I'll put that in the motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Phillips, seconded by Ms. Reese, reappointment of Jamie Warren to the Planning Board. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. All right, she's back on the board for a full term. I think we appointed her to an unexpired term. B. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She had been on the unexpired, so we're appointing her to a full term. That's what, yeah. Resolution 2023-09-02, approving the financing terms for the sanitation truck that we approved at the last meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Little to approve the financing of the sanitation truck that we approved at the last meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Resolution 2023-09-03, appointing the city clerk as treasurer.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Phillips, appointing the city clerk, Jessica Jones, as the treasurer. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Okay, on D, Resolution 2023-09-04, Avenue Tax Revenue Enhancement Agreement. Jay, you want to tell us how you want that done? Okay. I'll need a motion to approve that, voting on basically just the amendment to the existing ordinance.
I can make the motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Reese, seconded by Mr. Skelton to approve voting on, only on items 1 and 2 of this amendment. And then we'll bring the other back for the next meeting. Any further discussion on this? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay, Resolution 2023-09-05, Intergovernmental Roadway Construction Agreement on the Third Street project. This is where the study was done in the last administration and talked about the improvements and the additional culvert going under Third. And I think there had been an agreement that had been a verbal agreement with the school to proceed, and they would work with the city on the drainage project. Basically, it's behind the football stadium here. So now we've actually formalized that, and we have this out for bids, or it should be out in next week. So,
I make the motion.
Second.
motion made by Ms. Reese and seconded by Mr. Phillips to approve Resolution 23-09-05. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Ordinance number 550 to prohibit the swimming and the use of skateboards and bicycles, roller skates, and other similar devices within the Steel Creek Lodge. But I think it specifically states the areas in that. Mr. Skelton, I think you read some of that earlier in the.
It specifically talks about any curb, bench, rail, monument, sidewalk, porch, veranda, boat dock, and launch within the premises of the lodge and park.
Right, we're just basically trying to keep the bicycles off of that and rollerblades and all, and people that was doing the skating around off of the walkway area that we have around there. As you know, it kind of curbs, and somebody come flying around on a bicycle, they can't really stop. And then the swimming that we've had some complaints about, people trying to launch boats or get them back on the trailers. People trying to play in the water right there by the launch is not safe. All right, with that being said, that's ordinance 550.
I'll make,
Did y'all just want to introduce that
Just
tonight?
introduce it tonight.
And let's let it lay over? Okay. So it was introduced, and y'all can look at it and see if there's any tweaking of it or what you want to do.
good to me.
Because like I said,
I'll make a motion to introduce.
motion made by Mr. Skelton, introduce ordinance 550, and like I said, we can tweak it if we need to at the workshop next week. Can I get a second to his introduction?
Second.
Second by Ms. Reese. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, we got it.
And the docks.
It might need to be worded in that canal.
Yeah.
But you gotta define an area where it's too vague, so we need to say something.
I think that would cover the whole area.
It's 200 feet, if you're talking about those
You're not
docks,
gonna go
that's.
across.
It basically goes,
Go-
yeah,
go-
yeah,
go-
anywhere in
go
between the
now
docks would be
anyway.
200 feet, I would think.
I think 200 feet covers it.
We'll look at it and make.
It's almost like you went out there with a measuring tape.
Google Earth, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Measure it.
That concludes everything that we had on the agenda tonight. So we covered in the workshop, our pre-council meeting and then our council meeting. So we've moved pretty fast. Is there any other business that needs to come before the council tonight? Well, I
Make the motion,
appreciate
we adjourn.
it. Motion made and seconded, we adjourn. Thank you. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for attending.
Tuesday.
All right. Randy, I think, Mr. Jeff wants to talk to us. If you'll hang around for a second.
And I gave you a few.
Text me in the morning and I will call her. I did hear something, but I don't know exactly what. I thought she told me that she got it. But. Told her? Really? Man, that's, Man, that's terrible, ain't it? I mean, it's just.